Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of AM in the PM with Amanda and Mark.
Hello. Hi. How are you doing today, Amanda?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Fantastic. It's good to see you again.
Fantastic.
It's
Why
good to be
why
here.
are you doing fantastic? Why don't you elaborate?
I do what I love almost every day, at least 5 out of the 7 days a week. And I actually had a good conversation with a buddy of mine today, Dan, and just doing a lot of good shit. So I think that's kind of what our topic is, slightly about today, to some sort of an extent. But why don't you tell the fine
Who is
people?
Dan?
Dan Burtis. Shout out Dan Burtis. You all should watch his podcast, A Better You for Tomorrow.
Oh.
Um, or listen to it rather. It's no video just yet, but solid. And yeah, just a
How
good
do you know Dan?
customer at Ray's Restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, this today we are going to talk about how I guess Mark and I's journey to become influencers. And if you're listening to this and not watching, I have air quotes in my hand. Um, just because I think influencer, we should look up the definition actually. I would like to know what the actual definition is. Um,
It's probably a bitch.
okay, no. If you guys have listened before, you may have heard me mention Lauren Geraldo, and she is an influencer that I really look up to. She's really popular on YouTube. A lot of people know her from Vine. And she even said she doesn't like the term influencer.
Never
So,
heard of her.
um, but I feel like it's not like you're trying to push people to do things that you want to do. It's more of like you want to influence people like in the right direction. Like, and I mean, the direction can be different for everyone, but maybe if like, you really enjoy something and it really works for you, maybe you want to like, help people become their best self and help them and see if what works for you works for them. So,
Yeah, I've thought about the word influencer myself, and it seems to be the fad term that everybody is doing. Everybody says like everybody's an influencer nowadays because you just post random shit on your Instagram and you think that you're hot shit. It goes deeper than that for me. I do that to a certain extent on things, but I don't. It's a fine line to do something like that. You can't. There's certain people that do it for image and likes and follows and all that. And while that's important, those metrics are important to some sort of an extent. That can't be your driving force, I don't think. If you're doing it that way, then I think you kind of have you're a little misguided. I love the word influencer in one way. I think that I've had a lot of positive influences in my life, and I would call those people, you know, public figures or influencers or, um, you know, I think the problem that has started to rear its head is that there are too many wannabe influencers. And that's actually not to say that everybody couldn't be an influencer. It's that some people are just kind of misguided in the fact that it's like you can't just like put random shit up there and just like, oh, I'm cool, I'm an influencer, I got followers on Instagram. That's regardless. If you want to do that, more power to you. That's not what we're kind of talking about. That's not what we want to do. We want to have a lot more sustenance, and we want to actually have positive impacts on people. And more than anything, at least for me, I want to document what I'm doing. I want to document the experience that I'm making, the progress that I'm making, and I just want to, get better myself, and hopefully we can help other people in the process. So, but Amanda is starting a similar journey here. So, what do you? Why did you? Why did maybe we start? Why did you want to talk about this today?
because so Mark is building me a website.
Well, to be perfectly clear, Find It Tech is building you a website.
Oh, Find It Tech
FindItTech.com. Check them
is
out.
building me a website.
Best web development company.
So, um, as you may or not know, Mark builds websites. Find a Tech, that's his company. He loves building websites. It's like what he does. So he offered
It's one of the things.
one of the things he
One of the
does.
several.
One of the very several things. Yes,
Mhm.
yes. Um,
Yeah.
and it's funny because it's like the old me initial reaction first came up. It was like, why? And then I thought for a second, like, oh, like the new Amanda probably needs this. um,
The new. The new
yeah, that
Mando.
new Mandy
Mandy
need,
Lynn.
needs this. So I've been obviously Mark has this is all I'm not going to say this is all because of Mark. I think
Largely.
it also has to do with the like influencers that I've been influencers. The people that I've been following, which is Lauren Geraldo, Mick Zazon. Zazon.
Zazan.
Zazon. Mick
Zazan.
Zazon. Zazon.
According to Google Translate, it's Zazan.
God, I need to ask
Zazan.
her.
Yo, Mick, how you pronounce your name?
I'll say Gabby Mail. I don't know if that's her real name. She's on Instagram. And Mad Fit. Oh my god, for a second I didn't.
Mad Fit.
Maddie Limburner. Maddie Limburner. So they since, quarantine, which is whatever, almost a year now, we'll just say, because I'm not going to go back into detail about how long ago that was. I've been following these people on social media, and they've had a huge impact on me, I think. And it's like interesting because they're all different, but like collectively as one, like stuff I learned from them, I feel like, it's very interesting. And then obviously Mark has been, um, putting out a ton of content on social media and YouTube and, just giving advice. And if he feels passionate about something, just expressing it. So ever since I've got into like my fitness journey and just became passionate about different things, I have been trying to document it, I guess you can say. Yeah, I've been documenting it. And posting it on social media and just taking pictures for myself to see my progress. And it's just been going really well. And when he came to me about the website idea, I have, looked at some other websites for ideas. And I was just like, yeah, I think this is a good idea and a good start and a good, like, beginning for, like, what's to come.
Yeah. So, as far as the website goes and everything like that, we had actually a little bit of a conversation. And I was thinking about it when we were having it before we went live here. We were in the house and we were thinking about just a very early structure, branding, and things along those lines. I was thinking about doing it live, like how we did the AM and the PM merch that one time. But we can just kind of talk about a little bit of here. So, I don't know. I mean, we don't have to necessarily brainstorm on the podcast, but do you want to give some details? You want to give some details about what you're trying to do? Do you want to give some details about, I don't know, just kind of what's going on in that realm? Do you have any?
I actually
Do you want to discuss some things? Maybe the people will get some value out of
I
it.
actually recently bought this journal that I have been like journaling in. I'm doing quotes with that too if you're not watching, because I'm not really, I mean, journaling can be anything you want, but I've just been writing down ideas. And actually I meant to bring that when we were recording, because I have tons of ideas written in there and it's all new, so it's not like freshly in my head. But obviously, so I like don't want to say it's going to be all about fitness, but obviously like fitness is going to be a big part of it, because um I have been like, moving my body in different ways to be active, and doing a lot of strength training and trying to get stronger. And just to give a little side note on that, I was just telling my friend earlier today about how I used to, when I first started working out, it was like cardio or hit in like abs, because, you know, you want to get a flat tummy and you want to like lose weight, like drop pounds, like cardio, drop pounds, whatever. It was never my like exact goal to like do it to lose weight. Like I was doing it to like actually move my body for once in my life, which like never happened before. um, but it's interesting because all I do now, like I try to still do cardio as much as I can, but if I don't want to, I don't want to, and I try to keep cardio fun, like dancing and stuff like that, because it's just not fun. I mean, if it's fun for you, that's great, but you know, and I've been doing a lot more upper body and strength training because I don't know, like as I'm progressing with exercising, I've realized now what I'm capable of is like really being strong is the most important thing to me. And like I literally record myself working out and I'm like, wow, look at my stomach. You know, it's not flat. Look at it jiggling. But it's like I don't care. Like it's like this weird feeling of like I obviously care, you know what I mean? Like would I like for it to be flat or would I like to whatever? But I don't feel the need to like go do a million ab exercises to get a flat tummy. I really don't know. It's just very interesting. Like I just want to be stronger. There's something about lifting weights that just makes you feel powerful. I've heard a lot of like women say this in the past, you know, bulky women, and I'm like, ew, but like it's really powerful. Like it's just really powerful.
That's,
Yeah.
that's interesting because you haven't even said that to me yet, but that's
I mean, I've
interesting.
definitely mentioned it too, but I don't think I've mentioned it to that extent. So, the website, obviously, it's going to be all about me, um, but not just all about me. I mean, it's going to be about what, you know, inspires me and what I think would help people with finding themselves. And I think I've come a long way. I've said this before, like, I feel like I thought I knew who I was, but I didn't. Like, if you, like, if you, like, think that this is like I don't know how to explain this because when Mark used to say this type of shit, I would think he was crazy. Like, oh, like I don't know how to say this the right way. I just, I just, um, I don't know. Like, if you don't think you need to grow, like maybe you do. Like, just this isn't coming out right. Um, I just feel like you don't realize how much you have to you should be focusing on yourself until you do it, and it's way easier said than done. Like you really just it took quarantine and not working for 2 months for me to like actually focus on myself, and I've been doing that ever since. And um obviously I've been doing physical health exercising, but my mental health is like my number one priority. um and I don't know, like it's just been amazing. Like I can't explain. I can't explain. Like I feel the best I've ever been. And it's almost weird for me to say that because I'm like I'm so used to caring for other people. I'm like I almost feel like weird for saying that, like it's not right. But we as human beings, like we really need to love ourselves. And I used to say that I love myself, but I didn't love myself as I do now. So, but basically, I'm probably going to have a bunch of content about how you can move your body in fun ways because obviously, you know, um, guys as well too. I'm sure they complain about how they want to go lift or I don't freaking know. They need to be bigger. I don't know what they complain about, but I know us girls, you know, I always hear friends complain to me like, "Oh, I need to exercise. Oh, I need to get back into it. Oh, I need to do this." Well, I want people to realize that you can do it in ways that are fun. Because if it's not fun, you're not going to do it and you're not going to keep up with it. Like, there are days I dread doing whatever I picked. And I'm like, okay, we're going to switch it up and we're going to do something else because you're not going to have fun doing that. So I would just like stuff like that. I'm obviously just about me. Um, like my style, maybe some stuff that I really like to wear that I'm like, you know, like a really comfy bra that I'm like really passionate about. Like I want people to know about it. Um, we were talking about how fueled by progress. So obviously that's really important to Mark and I. And it's like even more important to me now that I actually like became fueled by progress. I'm doing air quotes again. But yeah, it is. So I was kind of thinking about having its own little section. And then obviously we'd link the website for you guys with like the apparel when we get more when we get apparel for you guys, and it's a process. And then I don't know if we've actually talked about this on here, the merch.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know if we have chatted about
I
AM and
don't
the
think
PM
we have.
merch. But no, yeah, I think that's a good idea. I kind of envision I kind of envision your website there, kind of like how you said, a lot of good info. Part of it probably should be. Can I see my breath right now? Yeah,
No. Yeah.
I'm
We record in a shed. I think it's funny because like we always say that on here, but like it's not like. I was like, what if we put on our Instagram where you record in a shed? Like no one
It's
will follow.
MJS
No one will follow
Studios.
us if we put that.
It's MJS Studios.
We're in a shed.
Yeah, it's pretty cold in here. It's 36 when I walked in. We have a bunch of heaters and get it up to about 52, but it's getting colder. So, but yeah. Anyway, I saw my breath and I was a little fucked up there for a second. But anyway, it's okay. We'll be all right. And you guys can't feel the cold, so there you go. But anyway, back to what we were saying. The merch. Okay. I think that you have a great idea there. I think I see your website as, again, sort of like the way that mine is, right? You have information about you, your story, content that you like, the things that you're passionate about, the things that you own and you want to share with other people, that type of shit. I think all that's great. I think that's imperative with a personal brand site. And then I think the other thing is almost like, you can call it something different, but I have a page called What I Do. So you could have a page called like What You Do or something like that. And you could say, maybe you leave I don't know if you go into depth with like your actual career currently or whatever, or just, that type of that part of your life. You could probably mention that. But the other things that you should probably have under there are obviously AM and the PM, the podcast, and everything that's associated with this brand. And then also Fueled by Progress, like you said. And the same thing goes with both of those. You can say, oh, I'm affiliated with both of them in this way. Like they're just different brands, but you're a big part of both, right? And then we can link out to the store, the shop on AM and the PM. We could link out when we have more stuff on Fueled by Progress and all that jazz. Specifically with the merch, if we want to touch on that real quick. Yeah, we're doing merch. I don't know if anybody has checked out the site, but we have a shop page on there. We might have mentioned it a while ago because I built it a while ago, but we've been getting some samples of stuff. We've been getting some samples of. We have stickers on there. You could purchase those. Those are pretty standard. We have a sample of a beanie. We had a sample of a shirt that was too big that Amanda told me to get the wrong size for, and then we have a replacement coming for that. But it's gonna work. It's gonna be fine. She just wants one that we want one that's a medium, so we can kind of both test it out a little bit. And then we have a hoodie coming, and do we have something else?
I thought that was it.
I think that was it. Well, I technically have a surprise coming as well, but
What?
I have a surprise coming too, but I'm not going to say it.
Why would? Okay, okay. He is the king of saying I have a surprise to me, and then not telling me what it is, and it makes me crazy.
I was just looking through the catalog on Printful and kind of seeing what we had there, what we could do.
You don't have to tell me this one, but because
Yeah.
like obviously I know
I feel like we had something else though.
obviously I know it's like
No,
an
I don't
item
think
for merch, but any other time he's always like randomly I have a surprise, and it's like just like something he ordered for me online or something, and I'm just like, what the fuck is it? Like I have no clue, and I like go through every idea in my head. I'm like, is it this? Is it this? Is it this? And then it doesn't come for like 2 weeks, and then it's here, and I'm like, or most of the time he ends up telling me. I don't know, but he always does shit like that, and I'm just like, why are you opening your mouth if it's a surprise?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to not just get one item because we need to get the shirt, so we got a hoodie too. So there'll be a hoodie sample, and then this other item. I was just like, this is kind of interesting. So let's see what we can do here. So just getting more samples of different things because we like to know what we're selling. I think that's a responsible thing to do. And the way that we do it, you can
Yeah,
look
we're
more about
not.
it on my channel. But
Mhm.
it's a service that's print on demand. So you order the stuff, and we never actually have it. They just make it, and then they send it to you. So it's a really nice service, but we want to again make sure that we kind of know what you're gonna get before you get it because we don't have
Yeah,
inventory.
we
So
don't want to start selling until
junk.
until we know it's something we would wear and we would want other people to wear.
Right. And
So,
that's again like we'll just hit on this here, regardless of where this is. That's the same thing with Fueled by Progress. It's going to be, when we start all that up and we do all that. These are big pieces of things that we want to do, but we want to start them as soon as possible. But we also don't want to fuck them up from the get-go. Like, we ordered some shirts the same type of way and they were solid, but Fueled by Progress is a different animal. I mean, I have a podcast over there. We bring on guests, but it's not merch. It's going to be clothing. It's going to be real clothing because we want that to be much more than that. We want that to be actual real shit, and meaning like a real line of clothing and
yeah.
stuff like that. And that's a bigger dream than just some merchandise. But that's not to say that this merchandise ain't going to be awesome, because it is going to be awesome. It's going to have the AM and the PM branding on it. It's going to be good clothing. So regardless, yeah, check it out. amandthepmpodcast.com/shop, and the link will be in the description. There's probably just going to be stickers in there depending on when you watch this, but as we get more items, we'll add them to there, and you can just buy to your heart's content.
Yeah. Can we take it?
Shop till you drop.
Can we? I think this is a good time to just take a second and like talk about like how much we have accomplished in this past year. Like, holy cow.
I think about that all the time.
I know you do, but just hearing you like say stuff like that is like, oh my god, like this is real. Like this is so exciting. And I actually had on my time hop a few days ago. It was Mark calling me to ask me something, and I was like, I thought Mark was calling me to blah blah blah, but he was actually calling me to ask me if he wanted to start a clothing company. And
Yeah, I saw that.
obviously when Mark used to say stuff like that, I'd be like, okay. All right, Mark, whatever. Obviously it was like still kind of a dream. But like now it's reality, and it's I think for me it's really setting in um that like this could be my career one day. Like I could do this. Like,
Anything's possible.
like what I want to do. Like I can be passionate about stuff and love it and like do it. And obviously for Mark, he's known that for a while and he's had that drive and he's like doing it. But for me, I'm still at my current job that I love and I plan on being there for still like a long amount of time. But right now, I think it's setting in for me that just starting the website and starting, my journey, I guess, personally, is just making me realize, like, that it's really possible. And I'm just really excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, we both came a long way. I think that's interesting that you bring that up about like the clothing, apparel, time hop thing, and the that sort of stuff. Because I do remember way back then.
We always talked about a podcast in the clothing company, but,
I don't actually remember when we started talking about it, honestly, but I have a terrible memory.
okay.
But
We've always talked about it. Like a year or two into a relationship, we've always
right.
talked about it. Maybe 2 years, it doesn't really matter. Um, we've always talked about it, and I remember always wondering when it would actually happen. And it's weird because it kind of just happened in the snap of a fingers. Like I feel like I said, over quarantine, we decided to get serious about everything.
Yeah.
And I think you were working on Fueled by Progress a little bit before quarantine, and it just all came together, and it's still really coming together beautifully. So.
Well, it's a process. It's one day at a time, and you just gotta keep chipping away at it. And not every day is great, but this shit does not happen overnight, and you got to realize that. I think the biggest thing, honestly, for me, from my perspective, is, yeah, I've been working hard, and left my job in the beginning of the year, and we've had a great year so far as the things that we're laying. I was thinking about this actually yesterday. I think that 2020 is almost over. Is the shit that has been the characteristic of 2020 over?
No.
Doesn't doubt it. But the point is that the year, is another year is coming to a close. However, it has gone to this point, from a macro sense, but from us, right, and from the things that we're trying to do, the businesses and stuff, and I think it's been really great. I think it's been a huge foundational year. I think that we put a lot of really good effort in, and I think more than anything, I've just kind of been grinding and doing my thing. I think more than anything, though, I'm happy. The biggest thing that I'm probably happy about is just to see how you've changed, I would say, for the better. Because I know in the beginning of the year, and like especially around the time that I was deciding to resign, you were you were kind of concerned. I mean, I think we're always in the same boat. We're not ever trying to fuck with each other as far as like don't do this, don't do that. But at the same time, though, obviously it was kind of scary just
Yeah, it
because we're
was
trying to
scary.
move out and stuff. And obviously this year again has been weird and it kind of fucked everyone's plans up. But the point is that I think you've taken a lot of that in stride. I like to think that I've been somewhat of a good influence on the way that you've kind of changed your mindset with some of those things. And then, like you said, like I just think I'm happy that I was able to take a little bit of a risk. You were very supportive in that risk. And I don't know what happened. I mean, maybe you have a better idea than I do, but it just gave you a little bit of a spark to do your own thing. I'm not giving myself really any credit in this because you had to do all the work. But what I'm saying is
I
you went out
think
there and you found people that you wanted to be like, you wanted to do things. And that's all I did, but I just did it like
I
last
think
year.
what truly helped me is, so when I was off work for 2 months, 2.5 months, I think it was, I would stay at Mark's house for like 3 days in a row. Like obviously we were spending a lot of time together because we could, and it was awesome. Um, Obviously that's why we want to live together. I mean, obviously. Anyways, I was here and I was spending a lot of time with him. Obviously we were working on AM and the PM, but obviously I was seeing what he was building. Um, a lot more like every day and just learning more about it. And I think probably more than I would have known when he's here all day and I'm at work. So I think I learned more about just what he does and why he does it and everything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that those days were definitely beneficial. I just think time more than anything. I think that my perspective, and you tell me if I'm wrong, is can you see my breath?
No, I'm laughing
Oh,
because I know what you're going to say.
I can see my breath. I wonder if you can see it on camera. I think my perspective is that you were caught. You were caught up for a very long time, I think, in life, we'll just say. When I met you, before I met you, you were young and just like all over the fucking place. Like you're doing all sorts of shit. And then we met, and right as we met, you were you're about to, go out of school, get out of school because, you had all sorts of other things going on. Your grandma was, sick and all that sort of stuff. And then throughout that time, you were working and you were trying to find a different, like more of a career type thing. So you just had a lot going on. And I don't think you ever had a moment to just kind of stop, take a breath and analyze the situation and what you wanted and really think about yourself. And that's, I think, the best thing that ever happened was quarantine because you
Yeah.
did have that opportunity and then it was like a reset. And now you can do way more than you could have
hmm
before.
Well, I think when you're working and going to school and working and going to school, or when you're just like working, it takes up so much of your time. And when you go home, you want to relax. And I mean, I don't want to say that like I didn't try to succeed. Like I tried to work at the Rite Aid pharmacy, that didn't work out. I tried to go to school before that, that didn't work out. And then I tried to work at a little daycare, and that didn't work out just because I wanted to get my CDA, which I'm still working on because it is a process due to COVID-19. I need to call them and ask them if there's any. So I called them back when we first opened back up, and they told me that nobody can come and observe me. So CDA is just like a credential, basically. Um, I'll be like a child development associate. It just looks good. Um, you obviously get paid a little bit more money, and it's just you're more educated and stuff like that. So no one can come observe me. That's like how you apply for it. You have to have someone come and observe you. It's like just a part of the process. And I called them back when we first opened back up, and they said that was the only option I had. And I was like, well, my work is not allowing guests in the building. We're not allowing parents in the building either right now. And who knows when that will happen? Like, probably not for a long, long time at this point. So I need to call them and ask them if there is another option, like a Zoom call or something that we can set up so that I continue that. So I'm still continuing my CDA journey. Hopefully we can get it done. But that was a big thing I did over quarantine. That we did not mention so
Yeah, I
far.
actually forgot about that.
I know.
That's a big deal, though. I mean,
It was a big deal. I literally did my whole entire everything I needed to do for my CDA. It was done. It was ready. It was ready to go. And then I went back to work, and you can't like finish the completion of whatever you've been doing. Like, I have to have someone come and observe me. They have to look at my portfolio that I made, and then I have to study the booklet that I have and take a test. But the first step is to have someone come observe me and look at my portfolio that I made. I don't know how they're supposed to look at my portfolio because it's COVID and everything you touch has COVID. So I do not know. But I totally just lost myself in that realm of where I was going.
You mean the conversation?
Yeah, but
I mean, we were just talking about how you changed positively, and now you're different.
I had a point to that.
Mm-hmm.
But my CDA, oh, yes. So my CDA, that is why, like almost 2.5 years now, whatever it was, I went to Kitty Academy. So that's the whole reason I started working there, was to get my CDA. So I need to not forget and call the CDA company and ask them if I can get this done, because this has been a huge goal for me. If I can accomplish this, I'll feel so accomplished.
That's something you can put on your website.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what else as far as influencer talk? That's a big thing that we wanted to make sure that we address. Have we gotten everything? I know it's very early in the process. We're excited to keep everybody updated as it continues to grow. But is there anything specific that you kind of have in mind as far as moving forward?
Normalize normal bodies.
You can't steal her shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's got TM everywhere.
I'm not stealing her stuff. I just
You got to come up with your own. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, I am. You're like missing the point. I want to be a part of the normalized normal body movement.
I got you. Is there people that are? Are there other? So Mick is the one that made it, right?
Well, she made the hashtag.
I mean, it's a trademark. It's a trademark. Yeah.
I don't know exactly how it started. I've heard her talk about it a little bit. But I know that it's her trademark, her whatever, but I want to keep repping that as much as I can, and I just really respect her and want to be I don't want to say like body positive person, but I really like that, normalizing normal bodies. Like I don't want to say like body, like I like that is the way to describe it. Like I don't know.
I understand. It's a good slogan.
Obviously, it's not going to be like my thing, but I want to express it as much as I can, almost like for her. Like I want to help her. Like I want to help. Like I don't know.
Yeah. No,
her and Gabby, her like best friend Gabby, they're amazing people, and obviously I don't like know them and whatever, but like I almost like want to like help them like spread awareness in a way. I want to like just help spread awareness of like everything. I don't know.
So let's do a quick thought here. I know what you're saying. I think that's admirable, and I think that you should do that. What I might recommend though, Mick is not the first one to do this.
Yeah, I know.
She might have came up with normalized normal bodies, right? But she's not the first one. But she's the one that you know, one of the ones you know the most, right? Or know the best, and you follow and you believe in the most. Is that
Yeah.
fair?
Mhm.
You can support like what she's doing in that whole movement by also having your own thing.
Yeah, I know.
So I just want you to keep that in mind, because that's
No, I'm going
where it
to.
comes to
I
like
just
branding and like actual personal brand is
yeah.
like on my website, for instance, right? I have that thing where it says my influences, and I have a lot of people that have influenced me, but that's almost as far as it goes.
Mhm.
Here, I'm going to tell you this from personal experience. Quick personal anecdote on the influencer stuff, right? When I started this, okay, I was very fucked up for a long time. I'll tell you why I was fucked up. Because I would hear something from Gary Vee or Jordan Peterson or Joe Rogan, and I would hear them say, this is X and this is X because Y. Okay. It's just a random thing. Okay. Just this sentence, right? And I was like, wow, that thought is really good. I really like that. And then I would take that and I'd have it in my head and I'd start to live that thought, whatever that was. Maybe we should make an example. Like,
No,
you
I
understand?
get
You
what you're
understand
saying.
abstract, right?
I remember stuff
So,
like that. Yeah.
so I remember it in my head. I'm living this, right? The thing you have to remember is that thought, that way of life, that way of thinking, unless it's fucking trademarked, doesn't belong to anyone. Okay? What I mean is, if you hear it from Gary Vee or you hear it from Mick, you can take that and you can put it into your own life, and then you can tell other people, and you don't need to reference back to where you found it every single time. I'm telling you, this was really difficult for me, truthfully, very fucking difficult, because I thought, I don't know anything. I just know a lot of other shit that people told me.
Mm.
It's real bad, because I think it's like a form of almost imposter syndrome. It's like, I'm not an influencer. I don't know anything about finance. I just know all this shit that everybody else told me. But that's
Yeah.
not the case, because
You learn
you
from
learned
other
all of that.
people.
You learned all
Yeah.
of that. And that fucking person didn't just come up with the shit. Maybe occasionally they come
Yeah.
up with an idea, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like it was the origin was them. So they learned it from somebody else. And then they sold it to you in whatever way. And you know, they didn't sell it to you. Maybe you watched it on a YouTube video, but they're making money from that, you know. I don't want to really bring money into this yet. It's nowhere near that. But what I'm saying is you can be a part of the same movement and also have all of your shit, in a sense. Like you can have all of your brand and all of your stuff, and you can have similar things here and there. But I really just don't want you to fall in that trap, honestly.
I don't think I have that problem.
Maybe I'm sure you don't, but I know
And
that I'm sure other people
now
do.
that you're saying that, I feel like I remember you being like that kind of, you know what I mean? Well, I feel like I think it's hard because when you really like someone and they really inspire you to the point where you feel like you know them, it's hard to not like be like, "Oh, I learned this from this person and this person is so great and this person and this and this." But I mean, I have, like I said, I named like how many people that influenced me, and I feel I was about to say this at the beginning, but I thought it sounded weird. But now that you just told that to me, I feel like it sounds like almost perfect. Like Mick, Gabby, Lauren, and Mad Fit. I feel like I get all this knowledge from them, and they're like making me. Like, not like making me, but I'm like learning because they're all so different. I'm learning from every one of them and their ideas and their thoughts. Like, inspire me, so it's like almost making me into like this person, like, you know what I mean, like it's like
There's a couple things. One, you're the average of the five people you hang out with most. I don't know if you've ever heard that. So if you
No.
hang out with 5 people, and honestly, in today's day and age, I would almost venture to say the 5 people that you get influenced by the most just in general. So like if you maybe you only hang out with 1 or 2 people, right? But you watch like every single mad fit video and story and all that sort of stuff, she could be probably one of those 5. But the point is that let's say you had 5 best friends and you hung out with them all the time, you're going to be the average of those. Meaning that if one person's really good, one person's, like one person this, you're basically, it's hard, it's an abstract concept, but you're going to be like those people. You understand? So if you hang out with, if you associate with
Yeah, I get what you're
people that
saying.
are more move forward, then you're going to be more move forward-ish, right? Like you're going to be more proactive. If you focus with, lazy people or jags, then you're going to be a jag, right? That's what I'm saying. So there's that. The other thing though that you just brought up is a great one. You have these 3 big influencers, we'll say, that you follow, right? So you're almost the sum of them in a sense, where it's like, okay, well, I really like this aspect of Lauren teaches. I like this thing that Nick says, and I like, the way that MadFit works out or some shit. Then you can build all that into you, and that's like building Amanda, right? And what Amanda is doing and everything. The last thing that I'll say is what I've started to do is I take the shit in that I learn, and I have a process, 3-step process. You learn it, so you bring it in, and then you implement it in your life. Maybe it's 4 steps. I don't know. It doesn't fucking matter. You take it in, you implement it in your life, and then you reflect on it. It's like, is this exactly how I want to live? It's like word for word, or is there like something that I don't really agree with here, and like I think that could be better? Then you adapt it, and then you continue to live it or whatever, and then you share that. So it's like you took an idea, you modified it, you put your own spin on it, and then you sent it out back through your channels, right, or your website or your content. That is almost, I think, the perfect play. So I don't know, just kind of abstract concepts, but it's what I've learned in my time as a wannabe influencer, I guess you could say, with less than 1,000 Instagram followers. So it's not all about the followers, but don't ever buy followers. There's a fucking nickel's worth of free advice right there. Don't ever do that. Instant bullshit and lack of credibility there. But yeah, so you got anything else? I'm fucking freezing.
I'm glad you.
My toes are cold.
I'm glad you said it.
I mean, it's never been this cold it's a lie. It's been cold in here, but I've never been able to see
I
my
thought
breath.
you used the good heater this time.
Yeah, but it's colder outside, so it got colder again. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it because
Yeah, we should wrap it up.
I'm freezing.
But I think this has been good. I think this was a very good first thing. We're going to look back on this in a year. And we're both going to be in even further good, further places and just have a lot more going for us. And
I saw my breath.
yeah, it's bad. But yeah, we need to wrap it up. But I'm happy with it. I think that hopefully our viewers got some value out of it. If nothing, else, just more documentation of where we're at, what we're thinking about now, and how it might change in the future, get better. There's going to be setbacks and all sorts of different stuff, I'm sure. But just keep moving forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. We don't have a domain yet, just yet for Amanda's website, so we're kind of just building it. We're working on that, but we will keep you updated with that. So look out for on the Instagrams and the chats. No, not chat, not Snapchat, but but yeah. So that's it. We appreciate you guys as always. Thank you so much for all the support. And again, I'm permanently putting the link in the description to ask us anything. We need questions. We want to field questions. So I'm permanently putting that in the descriptions and the show notes and everything like that. So do not hesitate, please. Ask us questions. Anything.
Ask us anything. We'll
AMA,
answer.
AUA. Ask us anything. But yeah. Regardless, though, guys, thank you so much. As always, we appreciate you. This has been another episode of AM and the PM with Amanda and Mark. We thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you in the next one.